Hey guys, this is the Vlog Launchpad. This is Fenra. I'm going to be your Monday Vlogger, as I mentioned before. Part of what we're going to be talking about is obviously change of scenery. I am now living on campus, and part of what that means is I get a dorm. With getting a dorm, it's a relatively older building. This is actually one of the oldest buildings on my university. It's from the 1970s. It's pretty ancient, but it's still a pretty reliable building, and the walls actually keep out a lot of sound, which is a very important thing. But basically, it's something where I've come to realize that living on campus is something that I feel like everyone should experience. What I mean by that? I don't mean that everyone should basically be living in a dorm, but I believe that everyone should be involved on campus living. Basically, why would you do that? You know, a lot of people ask me that, but I argue that it's something where you interact with human beings. Someone who has been a long-term WoW player, something I feel like interacting with human beings offline is actually starting to become a little more important in my life. And also that it builds professional networks, and it also builds a lot of social networks as well for you to kind of interact and kind of develop more of a professional self. You know what I mean? It's something that you can better understand where you are and where you're going with that in terms of life. And obviously, I'm pretty sure it doesn't need to be said, but almost every single cab thing involves free food. Really. Who doesn't want free food? Come on. Free food. Anyway, on to my main topic. Basically what I'm going to be talking about is gaming the system. Basically how video gamers help researchers untangle these issues with protein folding that is really complicated. This article I actually taken from the Scientific American. If you look in the YouTube description below, you'll be able to see, where that link is. It's basically how a couple of biochemists and some computer engineers from University of Washington had this idea to actually have the public be able to solve these very complicated and complex problems of protein folding. A lot of these issues were actually very complicated because it helps figure out the cures for diseases like HIV, cancer, AIDS, etc. And by understanding this complicated problem of protein folding, people will better be able to understand like how to deal with these issues and how to better find cures for these kind of diseases. So anyway, they started by developing 3D models of these things and actually turning it into a video game. So what you do is, as a player, you would basically fold these proteins into various shapes and such, and then you get scored on how well you do it. And if you score well enough, basically, you could help solve really complicated problems that not even biochemists can solve. It's something that's a bit of a complicated issue, so how do people actually solve this? Well, it used to be that a lot of these issues were resolved using distributed computing, which is basically letting someone use your screensaver on your idle computer to use processing and memory to, solve problems in computation. So it's not uncommon that people who have the screensavers run things like SETI to solve for extraterrestrial intelligence, because people like aliens, okay? It's just aliens. Aliens. Anyway, the main issue at hand, though, is that they realized that even though you could, have computers solve these issues, it's not something that, it would take far too long. It's something where a human brain was far more capable of understanding these issues than, a computer would be just brute forcing all these numbers and hoping that he just happens to get lucky. And it's something that I would like to drive home with this topic, is that video games are definitely something that is important to society, and I feel like video games can contribute a lot to society. But that's just me rambling, because like, what do I know? Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's all I really kind of got for today. I know it seemed a little bit lengthy, but I kind of hope I got my point across. Part of what I'm going to be talking about, or actually doing next time, is hopefully trying to do a video game. I'm going to see if I can install some Fraps-like software. Hopefully, because I'm cheap and I can't afford Fraps. But with any luck, I'll get some games going. Maybe, get something fun for once. Instead of me rambling on about topics that, I kind of know something about, but not really. But anyway, it's nice seeing you all again, and hope to see you next week. See ya!